You're muted, John.
Hold on. I'm now unmuted. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and assembled company, welcome to the World Storytelling Cafe. So it is Friday, and it is time for our stories for children. And tonight we have Simona Stabazzi, but with an M. So definitely with an M. Which I'm going to be very rude. I'm going away because I'm at Society for Storytelling Gathering in Gloucester right now. So we're about to have a meal, but I thought I would introduce you. And I've not the faintest idea who we've got next Friday, if anyone. We'll have someone, but I can't remember who it is. And but on Sunday, this is really important. We have the worldwide story round at 6 o'clock in the evening. So if anyone fancies telling a story, come and see us on Sunday, hosted by Mike Rust. And on Tuesday, of course, we have our young international tellers. All right. So you three, would you like to say hello to everybody?
Hello.
It's Louis. Hello, Louis.
Hi.
Okay, so now we've finished the weirdness. Simona, would you like to tell a story?
Absolutely.
And you will forgive me if I go away because I have to deal with this craziness going on around me. Lovely.
No problem, John. Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And over to you, Simona.
Thank you, John. Good evening, everyone. Today I've got some trickster tales for you. So I'm going to tell you some stories about some of my favorite trickster from around the world. And actually, we're going to start from the south of the planet and then move up and up towards the north. And my first trickster is a very, very famous trickster. And I think that most of you, if not all of you, know him already. If I tell you Africa and the Caribbeans, who am I talking about? Ooh, I can see legs from Terry. Who am I talking about? Please unmute and say it.
Nancy.
Nancy, right. The trickster god, the spider god from Africa and the Caribbean. So this is my first story. Long ago, it was a very, very hot day, and Nancy decided to go for a walk in the forest to find some shade and to be cool in the forest. And he was walking and walking and walking with his 8 legs when suddenly he stopped because he had seen something very, very strange in front of him. It was a rock that was covered in moss. And Nancy looked at the rock and said, "What's this? Isn't this a very strange moss-covered rock?" And crash, boom, crash! And Nancy fell asleep and he slept and slept and slept for a whole day and a whole night. And the following morning, when he woke up, he stretched and looked at the sky and said, "This is very strange. I must have slept a whole day and a whole night. What could have happened?" and he looked around him and he saw the rock again and he said, "What's this? Is this a very strange moss-covered rock?" Crash, boom, crash. Anansi slept. He slept. He slept for a whole day and a whole night. And in the morning, when he woke up, he stretched, said, "That's very strange. I must have slept for a whole day and a whole night. What could have happened?" And he looked around him and he saw the stone. And suddenly he remembered, "I know what happened. That rock is magical. And those words that I'm not going to say at the moment because I don't want to fall asleep again. Those words, magical. And if you say those words, you fall asleep for a whole day and a whole night. That's very good to know. I can use it for one of my tricks." But Anansi started walking in the forest, thinking about how he could use that as a trick, to trick somebody. He loved playing tricks on people. And suddenly, he passed Snake's house. And he saw that Snake had some melons gathered for one of his next meals. Anansi's mouth watered. He loved melons. I think I know how to get those melons. "Snake," said Anansi, "isn't this a very, very, very hot day?" "Yes," said Snake. "It's a very hot day, Anansi." "Well," said Anansi, "I think I know the solution. Would you like to come with me to the forest? There we can find some shade and sit down in the cool." Snake thought, because Snake knew that Anansi was a trickster and he didn't want to be tricked by Anansi. But at the same time, he didn't see anything wrong in going with Anansi to the forest. So he said, "All right, let's go." And the two of them went into the forest. And suddenly Anansi stopped, pointed at something, and said, "Snake, what's this?" And Snake looked. It was a moss-covered rock. And he said, "Isn't this a very strange moss-covered..." And crash, boom, crash! Snake fell asleep and he slept. He slept. He slept for a whole day and a whole night. And Anansi giggled and he ran to Snake's house. He took all of the melons and ate all of the melons, and they were delicious. The following day, Anansi woke up in the morning and he felt that his stomach was rumbling. "I'm hungry. Let's go and see who's got some nice food to eat." So he went around the forest and suddenly he was in front of Lion's house, and he saw that Lions had some apples stored in his house. So he knew what he had to do. "Lion," he said, "isn't this a very, very, very hot day?" "Yes," said Lion, "it's a very hot day." "Oh," said Anansi, "have the perfect solution. Why don't we go into the forest for a walk? There we can find some shade and sit down in the cool." Lion thought, because Lion knew that Anansi was a trickster. He didn't want to be tricked by Anansi. He didn't see anything wrong in going with Anansi to the forest. So he said, All right, let's go. And the two of them walked into the forest. But suddenly Anansi stopped, pointed at something and said, "What's this, Lion?" And Rebecca, do you remember what Lion said?
What an incredible, what is strange rock covered with moss.
And crash, crash, crash. Lion fell asleep and he slept. He slept. He slept. He slept for a whole day and a whole night. And Anansi giggled and he went to Lion's house and he took all of the apples and ate all of them, and they were delicious. The following day, Anansi tricked Monkey. So they went into the forest. Anansi pointed, "What's this?" And Louis, do you remember? What does Monkey say? What does Monkey say? "Isn't this a very strange?" Follow me, Louis. Unmute yourself.
Hello.
Are you ready, Louis? Listen and repeat.
Yeah,
Isn't this?
it's a mess.
Isn't this?
Isn't
Isn't this a very strange?
It's very strange.
Moss-covered rock.
Moss covered rock.
Perfect, Louis. And crash. Monkey fell asleep and Monkey slept and slept for a whole day and a whole night. The following day, Anansi tricked Turtle. They went into the forest. Anansi pointed, "What's this?" And Terry, do you remember the words? What did Turtle say?
What a strange moss-covered rock.
And crash. Turtle fell asleep. She slept for a whole day and a whole night. And day after day after day after day, Anansi tricked all of the animals in the forest except one. The only one that was missing was Little Deer. And Anansi was a little bit scared of tricking Little Deer because Little Deer was clever. Almost as clever as Anansi. And Anansi was right, because Little Deer was clever, and although no one had said anything about being tricked by Anansi, Little Deer had watched and observed. Little Deer had followed Anansi into the woods, and Little Deer had heard the magic words. Little Deer was ready. Little Deer had gathered watermelons, Anansi's favorite fruit. One day, Anansi was walking into the forest and he passed Little Deer's house. And when he saw watermelons, he completely forgot that he didn't want to be trick Little Deer. And so he went, "Little Deer, isn't this a very, very hot day?" "Yes, indeed," said Little Deer. "It's a very hot day. Why don't we go for a walk in the forest?" Anansi was surprised. "A walk in the forest? That's exactly what I was going to suggest. Let's go." And the two went together into the forest. And Little Deer was ready, because do you remember Little Deer had watched? She had observed, but also she had been inside the forest to observe the rock, the moss-covered rock. She had sniffed. Nothing strange with that. She had touched, and she had found that the moss was prickly. So Little Deer had a plan. When they went into the forest, Anansi stopped, pointed at the rock, and said, "Little Deer, what's this?" I don't know, Nancy. I don't know what it is. Oh, come on, little dear. What's this? Oh, Nancy, I have no idea what it is. That's very strange. Oh, come on, little dear. Isn't this a very strange? No, Nancy, I don't know what it is. Oh, come on, little dear. Isn't this a very strange moss covered? I have no idea, Nancy. I'm sorry. Nancy was angry. You know about the trick. You know about the magic words. Little dear giggled. Yes, I know about the magic words, but I don't remember them. See, could you say them for me? And Nancy was angry. Isn't this a very strange moss covered? Oh, no, little dear. Oh, come on, Nancy. You don't need to trick each other. It's so hot outside of the forest. Let's just sit down and enjoy the cool weather here. So Nancy sat on the moss-covered rock. Do you remember? Little deer had found that the moss was prickly and so Nancy, isn't that a very strange covered rock? Yes, yes. And Nancy fell asleep and he slept and slept and slept for a whole day and a whole night. And in the morning when he woke up, he saw that all the animals had gathered around him. All of the animals were laughing at him and laughing at him and laughing at him. But Anansi was a trickster, but he was also a very, very good sport. So Anansi started laughing and laughing and laughing, and everybody laughed because after all, a good trick is a funny trick. Thank you. And that was my first story, my first trickster, but we've got two more. So we said we started in the south of the planet and then slowly went north. So we started in Africa, and this time, let's see if you guess my second trickster. It's a very famous trickster again, and it's a trickster from the Mediterranean area. So from countries like Egypt, Morocco, the south of Italy as well. Who knows who I'm talking about? No idea? Rebecca?
I think I know, but I don't remember his name. If you tell me the first word, the first letter, I might.
I'm thinking about, he has different names. So the one I'm thinking about starts with N.
Nasruddin.
Nasruddin, yes. Perfect. Thank you, Rebecca. And hello to Aisha and Daude Daniel. So this is a very, very short story about Nasruddin. So sometimes Nasruddin is a trickster, sometimes he's a fool, sometimes he's wise. And this, I think, is a story, a very short story that mixes everything together. So one day, Nasruddin's neighbor went to Nasruddin's house. So that Nasruddin was doing something very, very, very strange. He had a bag and he was taking powder out of the bag, a white powder that he was spreading all around his house in a circle. The neighbor watched and said, Nasruddin, what's happening? Hello, neighbor, said Nasruddin. This is a most powerful tiger repellent. Tiger repellent, said the neighbor. But Nasruddin, there are no tigers round here. Tigers at all. Well, said Nasruddin, would you like some for your house? That's proof that it works perfectly. So, would you like some? Not. And that's a very, very short story about Nasruddin, who again tried to trick his neighbor. Right, so last one, last story. So we started from Africa. We went upwards, northwards, into the Mediterranean area. And now we're going north to Scandinavia. If I tell you Scandinavia, does anybody know which trickster I'm talking about? Any idea at all? Let's see if Louis knows it. Louis, are you here? Louis, can you hear me? Louis, do you like the Avengers?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yes. So in the Avengers, there's a god, right? The god
Yes.
of thunder. Yes, what's his name?
Thor.
Thor, exactly. And in the Avenger, he's got a brother. What's the name of the brother? Do you remember?
Loki.
Loki, exactly. And Loki is exactly the trickster that I'm talking about, because we got to know Loki through the Avengers. And in the Avengers, Loki is the brother of Thor. That's not very correct if we look at Norse mythology. Loki is the brother of Odin, of Wotan, the old god, the old father. But he's a trickster, and he is so funny when he tricks people. So my last story today is a story about Loki. One morning, Thor woke up and he stretched and stretched. And without opening his eyes, he started speaking to his wife. Sif, my dear wife, my dear Sif of the golden hair, I had the strangest of dreams. I dreamt that someone had stolen your hair and that you were completely bald. Isn't that the strangest of dreams? And Thor stretched his arm and he touched Sif's hair to caress her hair. And he stopped. Thor, said Sif, why did you stop? What's wrong? Thor looked at her. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say, but he had to say something. She would discover eventually. And, well, she just had to look in the mirror to discover. So Thor said, Sif, your hair is gone. Your hair is gone. You're completely bald. What? Sif, what? Sif, your hair is gone. You're completely bald. No hair, not a single hair on your head. Sif, I don't know what to say. Thor had an idea and he became angry. He got out of bed and he went to Loki's room. Loki, the trickster god. He opened the room and he went to Loki. Loki, where is Sif's hair? What did you do with her hair? I? Said Loki. I didn't do anything. But her hair? Isn't her hair on her head? That's where it should be. Loki, I know it was you. It's always you, always you. Now, where did you put her hair? I didn't do anything, Thor. I swear I was here sleeping all night. Loki, said Thor, I will break every single bone in your body until you tell me where her hair is. I know it was you. Every single bone in my body? All right, so okay, I have to admit, I took her hair. It was funny. So I took her hair from her head, from the roots. I didn't just shave it. And then I threw it away. And I have no idea where it is right now. So bye-bye, Thor. Thank you. No, I'm not going away. And Thor took Loki from the neck and pushed him on the wall. You are going to find a solution, Loki. You are going to find a solution unless... Let him go. Yes, said Loki. I'm going to find a solution unless I want all my bones to be broken by you. Absolutely. I'm going to find a solution. Bye, Thor. Loki thought, and he thought, and he thought, does anybody here have any idea? What could Loki do? Any ideas at all? Yes, Daud. Daud, come.
I have an idea. I have an idea
What's your
what,
idea, Daud?
so I have an idea what Lucky would do. So Lucky would like he would search like a garbage truck or the recycling place because he threw his hair in the bin. So obviously the garbage people must have taken it out and thrown it in the trash.
Oh, that's
whatever.
a perfect solution, Daud. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any other idea? What do you think Thor should do? Loki should do? No ideas at all? Oh, Rebecca.
If he couldn't find her hair, he could find some how do you call it? How do you call it to make sweaters? Oh, I forgot now. Some wool, some and
A wig for
not the wool, like grandmothers knit, and he could have
Ah.
knitted her hair again.
Nice. Thank you, Rebecca. All right. Do we have any more ideas? Or shall I? Oh, yes, Terry.
How about the hair from many horses' tails?
Nice.
Make her kind of like a wig.
Absolutely. Yes. I like all of your ideas. And I'm going to tell you what the myth said, because, well, even though I like your ideas a little bit better than the myth, actually, the recycling. I love the recycling. So Lucky thought he had an idea, and he wore his shoes that let him fly into the sky. And he started flying into the sky, and he had a long trick to do. So to pass the time, he started singing a song. And I'm not a very, very good singer, so I think that Loki would appreciate it if he were to help me here. So please unmute yourself and sing with me. So it's always twice the same song. It's always twice, same sentence twice. So you can just listen and then repeat and sing with me the following time. Are you ready? So he sang. Oh, Lucky, you are so lucky, so lucky, so lucky with your wits in your head. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, Lucky,
Oh, Lucky,
you are
oh,
so lucky, so lucky,
so
so lucky with
lucky
your
with
wits in your
wings.
head. Listen. Thor is angry. Thor is strong. Thor is angry and he wants to break your bones. Together. Thor is angry. Thor is strong.
Thor wants to
Thor
break
is angry
my
and he wants to break your bones. Perfect. Now again the first. Oh, lucky, you are so lucky, so lucky with your wings in your hair. Oh, lucky, you are so lucky with your wings in your head. Perfect. Thank you. And Loki flew all the way to the land of the dwarfs, because the dwarfs were the best craftsmen, or better, craft dwarfs in all of the world. And he went to the workshop of the sons of Vivaldi. Went inside the workshop and said, "Sons of Vivaldi, Brock and Eitri, two other dwarfs, saying that they are the best craftsmen, or better, crafts dwarfs in all of the world." The sons of Vivaldi were angry. "That's not true. We are the best. We can prove it." "That's exactly what I thought," said Loki. "I agree with you. I agree that you're the best. And for this reason, we gods of Asgard have decided to have a competition. What do you have to do? You just have to make gifts. One gift for Odin, one gift for Frey, and one gift for Thor. And I agree that you're the best, but I want you to win. So I'm going to suggest something to you. Please, for Thor, make sure that you're going to make a wig of golden hair for his wife. A wig of golden hair that looks real and flows here and there, like real hair." "All right," said the sons of Vivaldi, and they started working. And Loki went out of their workshop and yet to go to another workshop. So he wore his shoes and he flew up into the sky, and it was a long way. So he started singing his song. Unmute yourselves. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, lucky,
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 so lucky,
so
lucky, you're lucky,
your head. Oh, lucky,
you're lucky,
you are so lucky,
lucky, you're
with your
lucky.
wings
your
on your
head. Thor is angry.
Thor is strong.
Thor is
angry
and he wants to break
You got cold.
Thor is angry.
Angry.
Thor is
Thor
strong.
is strong.
Thor
Thor
is
wants to
angry.
break.
Wants to break your bones. Oh, lucky,
you're lucky,
you are
You are so lucky.
so lucky with your wings in your head. Oh, lucky, you are
so
so lucky with your wings in your head. Thank you. And Loki flew down, and he was at the workshop of Brock and Eitri, two other dwarves. And he entered the workshop and he spoke to Eitri and Brock. He said, "The sons of Vivaldi are saying that they're the best craftsmen, or better, crafts dwarves in all of the planet." Eitri and Brock were angry. "That's not true. We are the best. We can prove it." "That's exactly what I thought," said Loki. "So we, gods of Asgard, have decided to have a competition. You just need to make 3 gifts, one for Odin, one for Frey, and one for Thor, and bring them to Asgard. As simple as that." Brock thought. Brock knew that Loki was a trickster. Loki, he said, you're a trickster. What do you get from this competition? Me, said Loki. Nothing. I don't need anything from this competition. Oh, right. Oh, sorry. I just want the truth to be known. I just want to know which one is the best. As simple as that. I don't believe you, Loki, said Brock. I think that you're trying to trick us. Why don't we make this competition a little bit more personal? All right, said Loki, whatever you want. Yes, we can do that, of course. Well, said Brock, in that case, I want your head. My head? Said Loki. My head? Yes, I want your head. If we win, if I3 and I win, I will cut your head. I will keep it. Right, said Loki, but I don't think that you're going to win. I think that the sons of Ibaldi are, well, better than you. Goodbye. And Loki went out. I3 looked at Brock and said, all right, let's go to work. You work the bellows and I create some masterpieces. So Brock work. And Brock started working the bellows and can you help Brock work the bellows? And bzzz, a fly came into the room and the fly went around Brock's face but Brock didn't stop working the bellows. He knew that if he stopped, he would ruin the work. So he kept working, but the fly went around the room and I3 came into the room and he was carrying a ring, a big ring, an arm ring. This is the perfect one. This is the perfect gift for Odin. But now, there's no time. I'll tell you later what it's for. So, on to the next one. You, Brock, you work the bellows. Remember, don't stop until I tell you that I finished, because you know that you ruin my work if you stop working the bellows. Yes, said Brock. And he started working the bellows and can you help Brock? And the fly went around the room, and this time the fly landed on Brock's neck and it beat Brock's neck, but didn't stop working the bellows. It beat his face. Brock was almost crying, but he kept working, and I finished. I3 came into the room. He was carrying a boar, a golden boar. This is perfect, said I3. This is perfect, but there's no time now. I'll tell you later what it's for, and you can tell everything to the gods when you go to Asgard while I'm working. So, Brock, on to my masterpiece. I've been waiting to create this for ages, for years, but it was never the right moment. But this is the right occasion to do it. So remember, work the bellows and don't stop. Yes, said Brock. And he started working the bellows. Help Brock once again, and the fly landed on Brock's eyelid and started biting him, and Brock stopped working the bellows to get rid of the fly. His eye was bulging. His eye was big and red. He couldn't see from that eye, but he started working the bellows once again. And I finished. I3 came into the room. Break. Did you stop working the bellows? I did, said Brock, but look at my eye, look at my eye. Oh, yes, I can see. That's terrible, but well, the handle is a little bit short, but I tried it and it works perfectly. Now I'll tell you everything about them. And the two of them started talking, and the fly went out of the workshop and flew and flew and flew until it stopped and it transformed. It was Lucky who had transformed into a fly to make sure that Broken Eye Tree wouldn't have a chance to win. Lucky giggled. He wore his shoes and he flew back to Asgard. And a couple of days later, everything was ready for the competition. Brooke had arrived on his own because I3 had so much work to do. And then there were the sons of Vivaldi. The gods were ready to judge. And do you think? So we don't know what the gifts of Vivaldi, the sons of Vivaldi are. But do you think that the sons of Vivaldi or Broken Eye Tree are going to win? Who's going to win? The sons of Vivaldi, doubt? Yes, perfect. Any other idea? Louis, what do you think? Sons of Vivaldi or Broken Eye Tree?
Again?
Who do you think is going to win? Are the sons of Vivaldi going to win or Broken Eye Tree?
I don't know.
Right, all right. Let's wait and see. So the sons of Vivaldi started giving their gifts. They took a spear out of their satchel and they gave the spear to Odin. Odin took the spear. He was delighted. That's a fine spear, thank you. Well, said the sons of Vivaldi, just wait. That's not a simple spear. That spear will hit the target every time you throw it. Odin was even more delighted because I don't know if you remember, maybe from the movies of the Avengers, but Odin doesn't have an eye. He sacrificed one of his eyes to the well of knowledge. He wanted to know it all. And ever since, he's had some problems hitting targets with a spear. So he was delighted from the gift. And then the sons of Vivaldi took out the second gift and they gave it to Frey. Frey looked at it. A blanket, said the sons of Vivaldi. But that's not a simple blanket. That's a foldable ship. You can open the ship and navigate on the seas, on the oceans, wherever you want, as fast as the wind and as light as a feather. Frey was delighted. And then on to the next gift, the one for Thor, and the sons of Vivaldi took out a wig of golden hair, a wig of golden hair so beautiful, even more beautiful than Sif's real hair, and they gave it to Thor. Thor put the wig on Sif's head, and the hair attached to her head. And she was delighted. It's even more beautiful than my real hair. and she went with her friends to have a look at herself in the mirror. I think we know who's the winner, said Loki. But, well, let's see what Brock has to show us. And so Brock took the first gift from his satchel and he gave it to Odin. Does anyone remember what the first gift was? It's the first thing that they made, something round. You usually wear it. Yes, exactly, Aisha. An arm ring. And they gave the arm ring to Odin. This is called Dropnir. And it's an arm ring, but whenever you drop it, it multiplies. So eventually, you will have all of the gold in the world. And Odin was delighted, but at the same time, he was already rich. He didn't need more gold. So he looked at the spear and he thought that that was a better gift. And then Brock took out the boar, the golden boar, and he gave the boar to Frey. Frey, this is a golden boar that you can put on your chariot to pull your chariot. It never tires, so you can go wherever you want with it. Frey was delighted, but at the same time, he looked at the blanket that was actually a foldable ship and thought that was actually a better gift. And then onto the third gift. He took something out of his satchel and gave it to Thor. It was a hammer. Thor looked at it. Oh, isn't the handle a little bit short? Yes, said Brock, but this is not a simple hammer. This is called Mjolnir. It's the hammer of the god of thunder. My brother made it especially for you. Whenever you throw it, it's strong, but also light to hold in your hand. And whenever you throw it, as fast as light, it comes back to its owner. Thor was delighted. He threw it and the hammer came back to his hands. He looked at it, he was delighted, and Loki noticed that Odin and Frey were also looking at the hammer. They were delighted as well. It's a beautiful gift, said Odin. With that, we will fight the giants. With that, we won't ever have to be afraid again. Loki intervened. But yes, Loki, that's a beautiful gift, of course. But what about the hair for your wife, your beautiful wife, who had no hair at all? Yes, said Thor. That's a beautiful gift, but it can't compete with this. A hammer like this? What do you find another hammer like this? Here. Well, a wig would have been the same. Loki was desperate. But please, the spear, the foldable ship. No, said the gods. That's the best gift. Brock, you won. Brock smirked. He looked at Loki and said, Loki, I think you've got something to give me. Yes, Dowd, you remembered. Your head. And Loki smiled. Actually, you cannot take my head, because if you take my head, you will take part of my neck. And the neck was not part of the deal, so you cannot take my head. Brock was angry, but Brock had an idea, and he went to Odin and he whispered something in his ear. Odin nodded. Well, that's a fair deal. At least it's going to punish him for a while. And so something was brought to Brock. And Brock grabbed Loki and he sewed his lips closed. Loki was desperate, even more desperate than without his head. He was desperate because he couldn't speak. If he couldn't speak, he couldn't play tricks. Playing tricks was the best thing for him. He loved playing tricks, but for a while, he would have to just be silent. And that's the end of Loki's story for you. And thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the stories. And let's see. Do you have a favorite story? And do you have a favorite trickster? Maybe not one that we mentioned this evening. Thank you, Terry. Terry, do you have a favorite trickster or a favorite story?
Well, I tell a lot of Anansi tales, but here in America, we have a trickster from the southwestern part of our country, Coyote. And I like the coyote stories, or coyote.
Absolutely. And Rebecca, is there a famous trickster from Mexico? I tell a story about Conejo. I don't know if that's that should be a Mayan story. Is it
There
a
might,
famous
to
trickster?
tell you the truth, I am not sure about one that is specifically a trickster from Mexico. I will search for it.
I think that coyote sometimes is in Mexico.
It does. It isn't. Well, there are many legends, there are many fables, but I don't know if there is one specifically from Mayan culture or from Mexico. So I have to look for it.
And I think Conejo is from South America.
Yes.
I tell Conejo stories as well.
Might be. And anybody else? Does anybody else have a favorite? Yes, Louis.
Hello. Thank you. I love your stories, but I have to go. My swimming starts at any minute. So, thank you for the stories.
Thank you, Louis, for coming.
Bye.
Bye, Louis.
Bye.
And I think that Dowd wants to tell us something.
Okay, so see, this is the story of how the jellyfish lost his bones. So there once was a jellyfish who lived under the sea. He did everything for the king. So one day the king's wife had gotten sick. So the only way to cure him was getting a monkey liver from the island. So the jellyfish failed to do that, but as a punishment, the Dragon King gave out all away his bones, and the wife started laughing so hard she was cured. So the jellyfish never walk on seabed.
Thank you, Dowd. That's beautiful. Dowd, you have to come on Tuesdays with the Young Tellers. It's at 6 p.m. every Tuesday. 6 p.m. here, sorry, 5 p.m. UK time. 6 p.m. here. So 5 p.m. UK time. So if you want to join, there are stories from young tellers like you. And thank you very much for coming, everybody. And as John was saying at the beginning, on Sunday there's the round with open mic round with Mike, and every Tuesday there's the young tellers at 5 p.m. And thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye,
I looked on the schedule. He does not have on there who the next teller is next Friday. So
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we don't know. It's a secret. We'll discover.
Mystery.
Exactly. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you all.